Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Gao Wu, letting you take pictures, you wholesale supernatural powers. Chapter 41. The principal gave Song Qingwan a piece of blood crystal. What she was told was to use the blood crystals for the final sprint when she felt that her qi and blood were completely hindered. The principal's expectation for her is to reach the limit of 200 before the end of the training camp, and then break through to take the college entrance examination with the strength of a warrior. Song Qingwan didn't know about the ultimate warrior at first, but Song Qingwan started using blood crystals during the training camp. She wants to improve her own strength as much as possible so that she can give Su Yu more help. At this time Su Yu told Song Qingwan not to use it. She didn't immediately agree. You can listen to Su Yu for small things, but she has always insisted on her own opinion in the general direction. Su Yu also saw what this girl was thinking, and after thinking about it, she was not in a hurry to get her to agree now. Anyway, wait for the exposure of his blood value beyond the limit. Song Qingwan, a girl, would naturally choose to sprint to the extreme warrior. Her competitiveness, especially compared to his, strong enough to make him feel horrible. In the previous gravity training room, he felt it very deeply. Fu Yu also looked at Song Qingwan in surprise. After getting along for a while, he was used to Song Qingwan obeying Su Yuyan. Unexpectedly, she persisted in such a matter for her sake. He only took a few more glances, and Fu Yu didn't think too much about Song Qingwan. After all, according to his information, Song Qingwan's vitality has already exceeded the threshold of 182 transformations. But he himself has been stuck in the 179 position, unable to move forward. At this time, Lin Yan also added, there are also differences between extreme warriors. The use of blood crystals by extreme warriors will also affect the overall effect. It is said that if you use the 9th grade blood crystal to break through the limit, you will have the opportunity to reach 300 qi and blood in one fell swoop to achieve 9 extreme transformations, and you will definitely awaken the corresponding ability. The ability level must also be above S level. If I can use the 9th grade blood crystal to break through the limit, then I must be the most powerful genius of this generation. When Lin Yan said this, her eyebrows fluttered, and she seemed to have fantasized. Fu Yu looked indifferent. It's just a rumor that human beings have only obtained 2 9th grade blood crystals so far, and they all use them on the masters and above. No matter from which angle you look at it, it is impossible to use a 9th grade blood crystal on a non-warrior. Pour a basin of cold water down. Lin Yan woke up from the dream again. What the two said made Su Yu, a country bumpkin, widen his eyes again. He doesn't know if the 9th grade blood crystal will be used by non-warriors. What he knew was that 300 qi and blood transformed 9 times. Not difficult for him. I heard that not only high-quality blood crystals are rewarded in the training camp, but there are also blood crystals as hidden rewards in some places. Chow Chow also added to the topic. Su Yu was taken aback again. Reward. This time, together with Fu Yunei, a hint of disbelief appeared on his face. Brother Su Yu, don't you know that every year the reward for the first place in the training camp group is a fixed high-grade blood crystal? If you enter the training camp, you will definitely get a middle-grade blood crystal reward. The higher the ranking, the better the blood crystal reward. The geniuses who participated in the training camp are all for high-grade blood crystals. Everyone wants to use high-grade blood crystals to break through the limit and stimulate their full potential as much as possible. It can be said that there are 105 people present, and it is estimated that except for the 5 of us, everyone else's vitality is 200. Some are also at level 199. In the observation room, Zhuge Yun couldn't help looking at Cheng Yang again. Cheng Yang was impatient with this guy. What are you looking at? Is it necessary for our small city of Tianyan City to tell them these things? Isn't that a pure blow to their self-confidence? Zhuge Yun, I can understand that they don't know about extreme fighters. Why didn't you tell them about the reward? Zhuge Yun's eyes were sharp. Speak. Is your school trying to covet rewards from the 2 of them? Greedy ass. You kid will slander me again. Be careful that I will fight you desperately. Didn't you tell me that this trip is to hit Su Yu and let him know the dangers of the world? Your purpose is so impure. Do I still need to tell him what the reward is? Cheng Yang suddenly jumped up and scolded Zhuge Yun. On the other side, the deans of the 4 major universities also looked at the two with strange eyes. They regretted not giving them a separate cubicle, it was too noisy. Also, do these tactics players really not let go of their own students? What does it mean to let Suyu know that the world is dangerous, the worse the better? Several people shook their heads with emotion, and also curiously pointed the camera at Suyu, the unlucky guy. In the square, after Suyu learned that the reward was a high-quality blood crystal. Immediately, his eyes glowed and he said to Song Qingwan, "Qingwan, give me that blood crystal. I'll help you get a high-grade blood crystal back. Your talent is worthy of high-grade blood crystals." Suyu's face was sincere, and he couldn't see that there was no intention of fooling anyone. This moment, in the observation room, there were not only the 4 teaching directors. The members of the data groups of the 4 colleges also looked up at Zhu Yun and Cheng Yang. Cheng Yang didn't even think about it, and immediately said, "Don't look at me, look at him, he used to be the best at cheating girls' training resources." Zhu Yun's mouth twitched. What is wrong with this untrained student? Forget about bragging, why are you still using the cultivation resources of other little girls? Still TND just a first-grade blood crystal. Zhu Yun took a deep breath and slapped Cheng Yang on the shoulder. He'd better prove to me that he really has this idea, even if it's a whimsical one. Otherwise I will let him know what cruelty is. Everyone looked at this famous tactician and felt the terror in his smile. A group of people once again sighed in their hearts that this child Suyu is really pitiful. In the square, Suyu finally understood everything after some inquiries. Lin Yan and the others also said that they don't blame the two for not knowing anything, mainly because the teacher leading the team is too irresponsible. I don't know if it's because everyone is at the bottom of the list. The atmosphere between each other is not bad. Seeing that the timing was right, Suyu finally took out the camera from his pocket. Come. Since everyone is teammates, there is no gift for the first meeting. Take a picture of each of you and give it to you. The 3 of them had no doubt about him, and even Fuyu was more cooperative. Suyu pointed the illustrated book collector at the 3 of them. It is detected that the target illustration book has SS level ability to control the mind. It is detected that the target illustrated book has SS level powers and fantasy comes true. It is detected that the target illustration book has SSS level abilities and lucky blessings, close black lens bracket. See also the SSS level ability, which is also an extremely metaphysical special attribute ability. Spiritual control, fantasy come true, lucky favor. If one of the 3 abilities is randomized, this trip to the training camp will be worthwhile. What high-grade blood crystals, medium-grade blood crystals, these 3 abilities are the real rewards. First of all, there is only one word difference between Fuyu's mind control and mind control. Suyu knew that there was a huge gap between the two. Just knowing the name, several ways to use this ability appeared in his mind. The second is Lin Yan's fantasy come true. Without too much explanation, these 4 words are enough to express how perverted this ability is. The SS level evaluation represents the potential of God's wrath level. In other words, when this ability is developed to the extreme, even Lin Yan's fantasy and miracle level things will even come true. At that time, Master Yin Yan is no joke. As for the lucky blessing that the SSS level touches the rules of the road. Suyu has nothing to say, and insists on taking pictures of Chow Chow from today until she gets this buff. Click, 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 press the shutter button 3 times in a row. Strength plus 10. Strength plus 10, agility plus 10. Suyu didn't feel discouraged when he failed to hit gold again, and finished filming for the 3 of them. He pointed the camera at Song Qingwan again, and there was a click. The photos of Song Qingwan showing her face and smiling are freshly released. Strength plus 20. Sure enough, Song Qingwan was her real goddess of luck. After sending the photo to the 4 people, Suyu looked at them with deeper eyes. Lin Yan touched Fuyu carefully. Why does it feel like the way Suyu looks at us has changed after taking the photo? Could it be that he finally found out how handsome his buddy is? Fuyu's face was expressionless, and he didn't bother to care about this daily stinking beauty. However, he also noticed the change in Suyu's eyes, and the curiosity in his heart moved him. His eyes narrowed even more. Su Yuzhen praised Song Qingwan for being on camera, and suddenly felt as if a string was touched in his mind. Without any hesitation, Su Yu looked at Fu Yu. Fu Yu, who failed in the mental exploration, was surprised in his heart. The moment he met Su Yu's gaze, his eyes widened instantly. Su Yu showed a harmless smile. What happened to Fu Yu? Did you find anything else? Fu Yu shook his head and didn't speak. Su Yu snorted, as if nothing had happened. There is a mental supernatural user in the team, so be careful. I don't know if it's because my mental strength is too high, or because there is a system. This kid Fu Yu's mind-reading skills must have failed. Su Yu was thinking in his heart, and said to the two girls with a smile on his face, Qinghuan, Chow Chow, let me take another group photo for you. Okay, Chow Chow happily replied. Song Qinghuan cast a puzzled look. She knew that for Su Yu, taking pictures is a kind of intelligence gathering. But isn't once enough? I'll take 2 photos, and give each of you one. Su Yu emphasized deliberately while holding up the camera. That's okay. Song Qingwan put away her cautious expression. At 8 o'clock, the big clock in the square rang. The noisy square fell silent in an instant. At this time, a man in a black leather jacket entered the square and came to the high platform. Good morning everyone, I am the instructor of your training camp this time, Wei Yiken. Everyone looked at him, and he grinned and said, you can call me instructor now. Hello instructor. All the young geniuses immediately shouted in unison. Wei Yiken nodded in satisfaction, and immediately turned his gaze to the crowd watching. Everyone, now that the training camp has started, you can leave now. After the words fell, no one stayed around the square any longer, and they all turned around and left consciously. Wait until there are only 105 students left in the square. He suddenly slapped the sky with his palm, and ripples visible to the naked eye unfolded. An invisible barrier surrounds the entire square. This is a method that can only be used by strong masters. The main purpose is to not expose our strength to the outside world. Fu Yu took the initiative to explain to Su Yu and Song Qingwan. Su Yu nodded, looking at Wei Yiken on the stage, his eyes were full of longing. The middle-aged uncle of the 6th-rank warrior contributed a martial art and a little spiritual power to himself. I don't know what I can get by taking pictures of this master and strong man. He resisted the idea of pulling out his camera. Although he is rambunctious, he is absolutely not melon. On the high platform, Wei Yiken glanced at everyone. That's right, your energy this year is much better than the last one. I don't talk nonsense to you either. This time the training camp is still 5 days of free hunting, 1 day of free activities, and the last day of the ring competition. 5 days of free hunting, you form a team of 5 people. Each team selects a captain to hunt in the small wilderness behind me in the next 5 days. An ordinary beast has 10 points, a first-grade beast has 100 points, a second-grade beast has 1,000 points, a third-grade beast has 10,000 points, a fourth-grade beast has 100,000 points, and a fifth-grade beast has 1,000,000 points. Let me just remind you that last year, a small team tried to challenge the 4th-rank alien beasts, and they were wiped out in the end. The annihilation here means losing my life. Wei Yiken had a carefree smile on his face. In the square, 105 students listened intently. Even if they knew that the rules of the training camp were basically the same as those of the college entrance examination, no one dared to be distracted at this time. But since it's free hunting, I won't stop you if you want to hunt 5th rank or 6th rank exotic beasts. This is your freedom. The only thing I need to warn is that during the first 5 days of free hunting, all teams are in a cooperative state, and all fighting with each other is strictly prohibited. If you find out, you will be disqualified from the training camp immediately. Wei Yiken looked serious. I know that you are all geniuses, and you all want to be ranked high and low. I will give you a chance, but not for the first 5 days. On the 6th day of free activities, all the teams will be transformed into a competitive relationship. At that time, the points of each team can also be deprived. I hope that this day, you can be more lively. Wei Yiken's serious expression disappeared, and his face was playful again. On the last day of the ring competition, the top 10 teams will participate. There will be additional rewards for personal battle rewards. I've finished talking about the rules. If you don't understand anything, you can ask questions now. There was silence in the square. Wei Yiken nodded. Okay, then start the chi and blood test. After the blood test, you are free to form a team. With that said, he took out a booklet. If you hear the name, you can come up now. Gao Shi, ranked number 1 in the preliminaries, won the first 3 years in the East Theater Zone entrance examination, and participated in the hunting of a 4th-rank alien beast. Hao Zhiming, ranked 2nd in the preliminaries, won the first 3 years in the Southern Theater Zone entrance examination, faced the 4th-ranked strange beast alone, and escaped successfully. Wu Linlin, she has won the first place in the entrance examination of the Central Theater for 3 years in a row, and killed the 3rd-ranked strange beast alone. Su Yincheng has won the first place in the entrance examination of the Southwest Theater for 3 years in a row, and killed the 3rd-ranked strange beast alone. For the 4 blood testers, Wei Yiken directly called out the top 4 in the pre-ranking, and also briefly introduced their past achievements. No one questioned the top 4 pre-ranked. Almost everyone in the audience looked up. Most of the people present have been defeated by them in the previous joint exams. Su Yu watched the 4 of them walk up to the high platform, his eyes full of fighting intent. His goal is the top scorer in the college entrance examination, and these 4 people are the ones he must overcome. Participate in killing the 4th-rank alien beasts, and kill the 3rd-rank alien beasts alone. I miss the highest grade of exotic beasts. The difference is not big, so I can chase them. Su Yu nodded seriously. In the observation room, Cheng Yang and Zhu Yun were always watching the changes in Su Yu's expression. See the fighting spirit in his eyes and the expression on his face. Zhu Yun looked at Cheng Yang. Are you sure the data you gave me before is correct? Why do I feel that this kid looks like he wants to overthrow the top 4 of others? Cheng Yang looked calm. Normal. After all, he is the one who dared to unload the headmaster's tires just after entering school. I don't think it's too much for you to tell me that this kid wants to FK Brother Kun. Zhu Yun looked disgusted. Is this how you teach students? What a tactical genius, you're turning him into a fool. Cheng Yang looked up at the sky and didn't bother to explain, he got used to it. In less than an hour, he had already taken a lot of blame for Su Yu. Zhu Yun's teasing was just teasing, but Su Yu's eyes were more and more appreciative. Originally, he was thinking of waiting for Su Yu to arrive at Jubei University, and then decide whether to accept him as a disciple after investigating for a period of time. After all, a genius belongs to a genius, and it also depends on whether he is suitable for him as a master. From now on, Zhu Yun thinks that Su Yu is an apprentice tailor-made for him by God. If one has talent and strength, who wouldn't want to be a no-brainer? It is so tiring to use the brain to solve things that can be solved with fists. On the square, 4 highly anticipated geniuses put their hands on the detector at the same time. Stimulated by energy and blood, the 4 machines unsurprisingly revealed the number 200 at the same time. Wei Yiken nodded. Okay, you can go and prepare to form a team. The 4 walked off the stage without any communication. Whether it's the pride of a genius, or the fact that the captain's reward is higher than the player's reward, none of the 4 have any possibility to form a team. Next came 4 geniuses with 200 chi and blood. By the 3rd batch, some people finally started to form a team. Yao Yu, who was ranked 9th, went straight to Su Yincheng, and they embraced and kissed lightly under the eyes of everyone. Sao, you actually killed a dog. Careless. I shouldn't have read it. Outrageous. It's outrageous. Su Yincheng and Yao Yu must have done it on purpose. This scene made the atmosphere in the square a lot more cheerful. Su Yu shook his head in contempt, then subconsciously met Song Qingwan's gaze. Song Qingwan's little face turned red in an instant. Is it not good for us to do the same? Su Yu. Blood tests continue. For more than 10 groups in a row, everyone's blood was at the limit of 200. The people present are all geniuses. If you see the word 200 a lot, you will get used to it. What Su Yu is even more curious about is that half of the people have finished monitoring their chi and blood now. However, the teams headed by the previous 8 have not yet completed their formation. Even from the 10th to the 20th stage, they still remained alone. Su Yu watched curiously, and the 16th group came to monitor. The numbers on the machine appeared, and there was an uproar at the scene. Wu Zhanshan, Chi and Blood 234. Lu Shuo, Vitality and Blood 238. Have they broken through the limit? 234 and 238. I feel that the blood crystals they use are at least 4th grade blood crystals. They know that there is no hope of being in the top 3, so they need to grab the first place if they break through early. It doesn't make sense. Even if they are warriors who have broken through the limit, they can't compare to Gao Shi and the others. I don't understand. The blood crystals in the training camp are all rare blood crystals. Even if it's the last one, it's better to get only a 4th grade blood crystal than the one provided by the school. In the square, everyone is discussing fiercely. Observe indoors. The eyes of the 4 teaching directors became sharp in an instant. Deng Ji tied up her long hair in the shawl, and a chill flashed in her eyes. It's not right, the blood crystals that the 2 of them broke through are also rare blood crystals. I read their information, their school and their background can't produce middle-grade rare blood crystals. There must be family support behind them. Feng Wan nodded. This kind of situation will happen again in the future, but those who are at the bottom want to rush. The 2 of them are in the middle of the pre-ranking. Except for the gap between the top 10, there is not much difference between them and others. There is no reason to make such preparations. I suspect that someone knew about the training camp rewards in advance. Rank 8 blood crystal, right? Zhuge Yun said suddenly. I didn't say it, Qian Yun said immediately, facing the gaze of the 3 people. Zhuge Yun smiled. Everyone knows that Venerable Rain and Venerable Blood killed 3 alien beasts of the 8th rank some time ago. These 2 venerables are the ones who value the younger generation the most in the Human Race Alliance. It's not difficult to guess that they took 1 or 2 blood crystals as a reward for this training camp. I can only be sure because of the current situation. Those aristocratic families probably don't want to let go of this possibility. After all, it is an 8th grade blood crystal, and it is a good treasure for casting a golden body for the master. Use it for these boys, maybe you will get 2 earth-shattering geniuses. Isn't Gao Zai's supernatural power SS Dark Devour? If he uses the 8th grade blood crystal to break through the limit, if the supernatural power goes up to another level. In comparison, a few rare middle-grade blood crystals are nothing. As Zhuge Yun said, the observation room fell silent. They were shocked when the news leaked out just now, but after thinking about it, it was true. A woman in the data group said angrily, but isn't this unfair to other people? What's fair and unfair? Is it fair for us humans to face alien beasts and alien races? And no matter what those aristocratic families think, if a genius is born, it is also a genius of our human race. Not only that, but their resource support for Wu Zhanshan and Lu Shuo is also real. If all the aristocratic families are willing to do this, we can save a lot of resources and give other geniuses who need opportunities. Ba Ting replied calmly. While several people were talking, the qi and blood monitoring in the square was coming to an end. Starting from Wu Zhanshan, there will be a lot of geniuses with more than 200 vitality in the future. Without exception, these geniuses all joined the front ranks. Su Yu doesn't really care who they team up with. What he cares about is that he is not the only one who broke 200. How about a blockbuster? Seeing Song Qingwan and the others come on stage, Su Yu became less interested in qi and blood monitoring. Obviously, at this moment, he completely forgot to use blood crystals to break through the limit compared to these people. The situation where he rushed 200 away with a piece of 1st grade blood crystal was much more terrifying. Song Qingwan, Fu Yu, Chao Chao, and Lin Yan stepped onto the high platform. Except for Song Qingwan, these 4 people are not well known. The other 3 have more or less attracted the attention of these geniuses present. A psychic power, a talisman that can not only read minds but also affect the minds of others. Compared with the upper limit venerable powerhouses of these extreme warriors present, he is the master of the lower limit. With so many geniuses present, even the number 1 Gao Shi couldn't guarantee that he would be able to successfully enter the 7th rank Grandmaster realm. But Fu Yu is different, it is not difficult for him to enter the 7th rank from the 6th rank. It may also be because God is fair and gave him spiritual talent, in terms of improving qi and blood. All the resources of the Fu family have not allowed him to break through the shackles of 180. The elders of the Fu family wanted him to absorb the blood crystals directly, but Fu Yu still insisted on moving towards the goal of the ultimate warrior. He knows very well that if he can't become an extreme warrior, even if he is a guaranteed 7th rank Grandmaster, his breakthrough speed will be several times slower than that of the geniuses of the same class. Not to mention that there is also a gap between the strong players of the same class. Fu Yu's shackles made countless strong men feel sorry for this genius. As for Cao Cao and Lin Yan, the pure abilities are too peculiar. The abilities of both people are theoretically invincible when they were first discovered. Countless masters and strong men went to the two people's homes to accept apprentices. But as time went by, the abilities showed more and more effects. The two received less and less attention. There is always a gap between them and the real top talents present. Cao Cao, Qi and Blood 199. Song Qingwan, Qi and Blood 196. Lin Yan, Qi and Blood 187. Talisman, Qi and Blood 179. In the observation room, Deng Ji looked at Cao Cao with eyes full of love. Although this Cao Cao used blood crystals in advance, a first-grade blood crystal made her blood almost reach the limit. Although there is a gap with others, it is actually worth looking forward to. Well, if her abilities are developed more thoroughly, this child's future may not necessarily be worse than others. Feng Wan also agreed. In comparison, I actually look forward to Song Qingwan more. Director Ba Ting of Dongji University focused on Song Qingwan. The data shows that the girl's blood was only 193 a week ago, and in just 1 week, her blood has increased by 3 points in the limit value area. If it wasn't for the fact that she was born in the small city of Tianyuan City, perhaps she would not be worse than the others present today. As the director of the admissions office of Beibei University, Qianyun immediately emphasized, Ba Ting, don't hit the students of our school. The college entrance examination hasn't even started yet. Why is she a student at your school? Will she choose a school? It depends on which of us is more sincere. Ba Ting was not polite. That's right. That's right. Qianyun, don't think that these children's intended schools are the ones you rejected, which means that they are already yours. Feng Wan also echoed. Qianyun was silent, too lazy to pay attention to these two people. He made up his mind not to let these two people take away the meat that was in their mouths. Then you all want to attack me as a student. Zhuge Yun suddenly laughed. No, apart from you, Professor Zhuge, who is more suitable for Su Yu to be his teacher today, we will not challenge Su Yu's ideas in terms of reason and reason. Feng Wan said immediately. HMPH, Professor Zhuge, don't worry, even if this kid wants to join our Dongji school, we will drive him back to your Jubei district. Ba Ting also said that he would not rob people. Deng Ji smiled. I really want to snatch it, but it's a pity that the tactical masters in our school don't accept apprentices anymore. On the square, Wei Yiken announced that the last person will be on stage. Su Yu, a low-level tactician, perfectly solved the final exam questions of Jubei University in the 3rd year of high school. Compared to his cultivation in martial arts, whether he can break the record of Zhuge Yun's youngest tactical master is more concerned by the human alliance. Don't know why, compared to the short introduction of the first 4. When Wei Yiken arrived at Su Yu's place, he introduced a lot more. It even seems to be to avoid Su Yu's embarrassment, and specifically emphasized that martial arts is not the focus for him. But despite this, the geniuses on the square also focused on the detector. No one wants to see a joke, everyone is just extremely interested in this future tactical master. Listening to Wei Yiken's introduction, Su Yu frowned slightly. Martial arts cultivation is not important. Sorry, tactics are just my hobby, martial arts is my homepage. Thinking in his heart, he put his hand on the instrument and began to mobilize the blood of his whole body. It's not right. At the moment when Su Yu's qi and blood were mobilized, Wei Yiken's eyes changed instantly. Meanwhile, in the observation room, several directors of the admissions office also stepped forward. Su Yu's blood. Zhuge Yun was also a little dumbfounded. The instrument testing is not over yet, and the students in the square are still discussing the gold content of this tactician. Beep beep. The detection ends, along with the data displayed on the instrument. The whole square was quiet, and a needle could be heard. Su Yu, Qi and Blood 212. Known as a tactical genius, he is also an extreme warrior. After 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds of silence. What's the situation? Didn't it mean that Su Yu's energy and blood are at most 102? Is the instrument broken? Less than 100 chi and blood absorbed a first-grade blood crystal and directly broke through the limit. What's wrong? All the students at the scene began to discuss. At this time, even those who seemed to be in the top ranks all had incredulous expressions on their faces. The students suspected that something might be wrong with the instrument. Wei Yiken, who was right next to Su Yu, knew that this was Su Yu's true blood value. He didn't let Su Yu test it again. Su Yu, chi and blood 212. His tone was very calm, but when registering the data, he subconsciously paused. Can't figure it out, really can't figure it out. What kind of genius is he who can go from less than 100 chi and blood to an extreme martial artist within 2 weeks? Wei Yiken was calm on the surface, but he was full of surprises in his heart. Damn, it's really 212. This Nima extreme fighter is still a tactician who refuses to be a third-level tactician in Peking University. Why do I feel that Su Yu should be the most sought after? Don't talk about it, I guess the first few teams are thinking about substituting. I don't know if we invite Su Yu, whether he will participate. Didn't he say he must bring his little girlfriend? You stupid, Su Yu is now one of the combat power. Is it difficult to bring Song Qingwan who has 196 HP? A group of geniuses in the square had mixed feelings. Gao Shi, Su Yincheng and the others really began to hesitate. 5 days of hunting, if Su Yu joins in, the efficiency will definitely be improved geometrically. It's just that inviting Su Yu means kicking out 2 people. They're also not sure if it's worth it. If Su Yu is just a person, then there is no need to hesitate at all. At the same time, in the observation room, there were 4 directors of the admissions office together with Zhu Yun. They all looked at Cheng Yang, who was also shocked, with puzzled little eyes. Cheng Yang really wanted to give everyone present a reasonable explanation. But the fact that Su Yu rushed from 100 blood to breaking through the limit this week is really outrageous. He's a genius, I've said that a long time ago. He could only emphasize. This sentence is obviously not enough to convince everyone present. Everyone in this room didn't know that Su Yu was a genius, but no one said that he was a martial arts genius. In a week, less than 100 chi and blood cultivated to 212. This speed of cultivation is simply unheard of. The most important thing is the limit. How did Su Yu break through the limit? A group of people were puzzled. As the director of the admissions office of Jubei University, Qian Yun chose to take the lead. Everyone, just now I personally said that I would not compete with our Professor Zhu for students. All of us, Su Yu, don't make up your mind. Huh, did I say that? Feng Wan seemed at a loss. Qian Yun glanced at him. Director Feng, we are monitoring here. If you can't remember, I can call it up for you to recall. Oh, yes, but I was joking. How can such a thing as recruiting students be so childish? It's not written in black and white. Director Qian, don't take it seriously. Feng Wan had a fake smile on his face. The majestic guru, the director of the admissions office of the 4 major colleges, just made it clear at this moment that he didn't want his face. Not just Feng Wan. Ba Ting also said, I said I would not compete with Professor Zhu Yun, but as far as I know, this kid Su Yu wants to major in combat. We don't need to grab it, but do we have to respect the child's own wishes? Dang Ji. That's right, if Nanchang University is willing to give Professor Zhu the title of honorary professor, then we can still let Su Yu be Professor Zhu's student. The corners of Qian Yun's mouth twitched at these 3 shameless actions. Then each according to his ability. He looked at Zhu Yun again. Brother Zhu, judging by Su Yu's talent, I think we can put it aside whether he is studying tactics or combat. We have to cooperate well, lest some shameless people snatch our students away. Zhu Yunpi smiled and said, that's natural, it's not impossible for Su Yu to cultivate 2 disciplines at the same time. Aside, Cheng Yang hesitated to speak. Is it nonsense to study 2 departments at the same time? Who can have so much energy? Everyone in the observation room who was friendly 1 second showed their true colors the next. One by one was tit for tat, and no one was willing to give in to the other. Not only Su Yu, but other students who are optimistic about each other also compete fiercely. All of a sudden, 4 directors took the lead, and the data analysis teams of each school joined the battle. In the observation room, it was bustling like a vegetable market. Cheng Yang looked at it and said that he had learned a lot. At the same time, the principals of Nanchang University, Pingyun University, Jubei University, and Dongji University all learned that Su Yu was an extreme warrior. All of a sudden, apart from Jubei University, the principals of the other 3 schools immediately went to the school's tactical masters and asked them to go out and lead their apprentices. In the beginning, these tactical masters didn't want to compete with the junior Zhugyun for their students. After learning that Su Yu's martial arts talent is also extraordinary, all the seniors and juniors immediately stood up and prepared to grab someone. In the observation room, Qianyun was busy making contact. As the first Zhugyun who valued Su Yu, he seemed extremely calm at this moment. He was a little curious and asked, "Every year in the training camp, you will give a talent rating. Have you figured out how to rate Su Yu now?" After the words fell, the busy 4 stopped and began to think. The main reason is that this talent rating is for the martial arts talent rating. If you add Su Yu's tactical talent, the SSS rating is not too much. But now we also know that Su Yu's chi and blood cultivation is very fast, and the rest is still unclear. Personally, I think more attention is needed to rate Su Yu. After all, we have so little information now. Or the information about Su Yu is basically inaccurate, Deng Ji said. Several people looked at Cheng Yang again. Cheng Yang yawned and looked around, but he didn't make eye contact with these people. No information, inaccurate information, can you blame me? However, what is certain is that no matter what Su Yu's actual strength is, judging from the fact that he can cultivate to the limit warrior with a piece of first-grade blood crystal, his martial arts talent is at least at the S level. The talent rating of students by the 4 major colleges is also related to the resource allocation of students after entering the school. These geniuses who were able to participate in the training camp of the 4 schools all started with an S-level score. And compared to the ratings of Tianyuan City and other schools, the ratings of the 4 schools are often much stricter. For example, the ratings given by Song Qingwan in Tianyuan City and the military academy are both SS. But in the training camp of the 4 schools, her pre-rating was only a grade. Everyone was discussing. This time everyone's observation object was directly aimed at Su Yu. On the square, after Su Yu finished measuring his chi and blood, he returned to Song Qingwan's side under the watchful eyes of a group of people. Seeing Song Qingwan's nervous and expectant appearance, Su Yu tapped her pure white forehead. "What are you thinking? Don't you know that Xuan loves to die quickly?" Song Qingwan pouted. "Who showed affection to you?" A group of people looked at this side. Except that Su Yincheng's eyebrows twitched, feeling somewhat offended. There were resentful expressions on the faces of the others. "This person is too much, why not show affection? This little interaction between you two is better than hugging and kissing, let us die happily." While everyone complained in their hearts, the pace of walking towards the 2 did not stagnate much. "Student Su Yu, my name is Zheng Dakan, and our team happens to be short of 2 people. We already have 2 people with over 200 chi and blood, plus you and Qinghuan. Our team is sure to hit the top 5. Strike the top 5. With the strength of your team, Su Yu, you join us. The 3 of us have spiritual weapons. If you need it too, we can give you one too." A gorgeously dressed young man in the crowd spoke incomparably boldly. "Brother Su Yu, the ranking in the training camp is more important to us than the spirit weapon." A group of people surrounded Su Yu and Song Qingwan. The 3 of Fuyu were pushed aside, and they still hadn't reacted at the moment. Fuyu still had a wooden face, without any expression on his face. Lin Yan and Cao Cao were worried and asked, "Are we going to find teammates again?" Just as he was talking, Su Yu, who had been being tugged all the time in the crowd, raised his hands and said loudly, "Everyone, I'm only the captain." As soon as the voice fell, the crowded crowd fell silent instantly. Su Yu also said that I want to be the first but did not say it. A request to be the captain almost dissuaded everyone. He still chooses to put it in his heart first if he is too pretentious to fight for the first place. Seeing everyone dispersed, Lin Yan and Cao Cao also breathed a sigh of relief. It's just that it hasn't landed in one breath. Then I saw the young man in Chinese clothes say loudly, "No problem, you join our team, we will let you be the captain." Both Lin Yan and Cao Cao were dumbfounded. If you join, you will get a spiritual weapon, and you will also take the initiative to give up the captain's position. Is this student okay? At this time, Not only the two of them couldn't understand, but so did most of the people in the square. Facing everyone's eyes, the young man in Chinese clothes smiled brightly. Student Su Yu, I have no other requirements. I just hope that we can continue to be teammates when we go to college. I can cover all the loss of your spirit weapon for 4 years in college. The voice fell, and the scene was once again in an uproar. Damn, whose rich son is this, so arrogant? Just had a blood test, and his name seems to be Examen Boxu. Could it be the Examen who opened the Shenbing Pavilion? 8 or 9 is close to 10. Hiss, are they still short of pendants? I'm not greedy. Su Yu also heard the discussions of the people around him. To be honest, he didn't know much about Shenbing Pavilion or Examen family. But the other party is really sincere. Helpless, Su Yu had no choice but to say sincerely, Student Examen, to be honest, I am really moved. However, I have already found my teammates before that, and I hope we can cooperate again next time. When Examen Boxu heard this, a little disappointment appeared on his face. Since this is the case, we can only have the opportunity to cooperate again. Su Yu nodded. However, there is one thing I want to emphasize. Examen Boxu said suddenly. Su Yu, don't call me classmate Examen, you can call me brother Bo Shui or classmate Bo Shui. Examen Bo Shui looked serious. Su Yu was a little confused, but nodded, okay, brother Bo Shui. Rejected all team invitations. Su Yu found the 3 of them again. Lin Yan and Cao Cao looked at him with moved faces. Brother Su Yu, I'm so touched, I have no regrets in my life to be able to make friends like you. Lin Yan snorted and burst into tears. The crying scene comes as soon as it is said. This big move stunned Cao Cao, who was also very moved. Regarding this strange thing, Su Yu was speechless. He looked sincere. Don't get me wrong, I just think your abilities are more suitable for hunting. Lin Yan's crying scene ended immediately, with an upright and confident face. Brother Su Yu, I admire your integrity. In fact, I think so too. It's a pity that you don't become an actor and win the best actor with your supernatural power. Su Yu said from the bottom of his heart. I think so too. Song Qingwan agreed. Cao Cao also nodded. The 4 were chatting and laughing, and Fu Yu, who was on the side with a cold expression, suddenly said, with your strength, choosing us is not the correct answer. You should at least join a team that can make it into the top 10. If you win the ranking in the group arena, you will be rewarded with credits when you enter the university. As far as I know, the training camp competition is the easiest place to get credits among the 4 major colleges. You'll regret it if you don't get in. Su Yu was noncommittal. He smiled. You may be right, but I don't think the 5 of us may not have the ability to be in the top 10. Or, in my opinion, it is not impossible for us to rush to the top 3. Strength and agility far beyond the same realm. A master of tactics, fighting, mastery of spears, swords, and mastery of martial arts lost step. These are the confidence that Su Yu rejects other teams. And his goal has always been the top scorer in the college entrance examination, and he also has a heart that other people can't understand. The more he is given to these teammates at the end of the crane, the more he will do something big. Get rid of these imaginary things. The SS level ability on the 3 of them alone is enough to make Su Yu firm in his decision not to change teams. What high quality blood crystal rewards, what credits. Isn't SS level fantasy come true and mental control not delicious? There is also the lucky favor of SSS level. So no matter from which point of view, the current 5 people are the most suitable 5 people. Su Yu looked very serious. Fu Yu nodded, and just said, my supernatural ability is spiritual. It can read people's minds, and it can also control the mind to a certain extent. However, this kind of situation requires the opponent to be extremely weak. You all know that the blood is 179 cards. I have been stuck in this place for a long time. However, in terms of actual combat power, I am confident that I am not weaker than others. My weapon is a bow and arrow. Because of my supernatural ability, I can shoot all the arrows. He directly revealed all his information, which also represented his attitude. Su Yu smiled. Okay, the specific matter, we will discuss and prepare carefully later. Let's go to the instructor to get the bracelet first. Okay, let's cook the raw rice first. Lin Yan's nonsense drew eyes including Fu Yu's. Soon, 5 people came to Wei Yiken, registered their identities and received the team bracelets. The moment the 5 people took the bracelet, the 5-member team had no chance to repent. Wei Yiken also specifically asked Su Yu if he was sure about it. When seeing Su Yu's affirmative and confident eyes, Wei Yiken also became more curious about Su Yu's relationship. The team was formally formed, and 5 people stepped down from the high platform. Other people in the square also looked at the 5 of them. I don't understand why Su Yu must team up with them. Tisk, it feels like the last team in the training camp has settled down this time. Hey, it's a pity, if Su Yu is willing to join us, we can still compete for the top 10. I'm not interested in their number. I just think that Su Yu will really be a qualified tactician if he makes such a decision. I don't know if he is qualified. Anyway, as far as it is now, if he is my tactician, I can at least trust him with confidence. In the observation room, Cheng Yang smiled and said, how about it, do you now regret that the teammate you chose for Su Yu is too weak? Zhuge Yun shook his head. Who would have thought that this kid is hiding so deeply? If I knew he was like this, I wouldn't let him come to this training camp. Now even the ducks in their mouths may fly. Don't worry about that, I feel that this kid will still choose us to reject Peking University in all likelihood. Cheng Yang comforted. Regarding this, Zhuge Yun's eyes dimmed. Then can you guarantee that he will choose the tactics department? Cheng Yang was silent. Maybe it's not impossible to minor in the department of tactics. Cheng Yang, you get out for me. In the observation room, 2 good classmates quarreled again. Others have gradually become familiar with it. Wei Yiken gave everyone an hour to form a team. Su Yu's team was almost the fastest formed team. Then there are the top 8 teams. There are 8 great arrogances sitting in the town, and it is not difficult for them to invite people. Moreover, most of their teams have already decided on most of their members from the very beginning. Interestingly, after Su Yu's blood was exposed, although they hesitated, none of them invited Su Yu in the end. Especially after hearing Su Yu say that he wants to be the captain. Gao Shi and the others looked at Su Yu seriously. After Su Yu formed the team, most of them were talking about the bad teammate he chose. This time hunting competition, they are basically not threatening. But Gao Shi, Su Yincheng and the others silently kept Su Yu's team in mind. It may also be the induction between the geniuses, they just think that Su Yu's team may be a strong enemy. After Su Yu's team was formed, Su Yu immediately found a corner and began to prepare for the battle. 1 hour is not only the time for team formation, but also the preparation time before they enter the wilderness. Before going into the wilderness, Su Yu also has a few things to figure out. 5 people sit together. Su Yu said, now that we are teammates, I think we need to get to know each other better. Fu Yu has already mentioned his specialty. Lin Yan, Chao Chao, and Qing Huan also give a brief self-introduction. The 3 nodded. Song Qinghuan was the first to say, my ability is freezing, and my weapon is a spear. My main way of fighting now is to attach the ability to the spear, which can cause partial freezing to the enemy or the beast during the battle. Reduce flexibility, slow down movement. Of course, if I try my best, I can freeze 5 first-grade beasts in one breath and keep them in a frozen state for 5 seconds. You can also use your powers on a first-grade beast with all your strength to kill it instantly. But after using the ability, I entered a period of weakness. As Song Qinghuan said, the others listened very carefully. After she finished speaking, Fu Yu was a little surprised and said, I read your profile before coming to the training camp. Why do you feel that your ability is much stronger than what is recorded in the data? Song Qinghuan explained, because I haven't fully grasped my abilities yet. Hasn't there been so far? Fu Yu asked. Yes, Song Qinghuan nodded. I feel that your ability may not be rated in the data, but may be higher. Fu Yu said seriously. The inability to perform accurate ability ratings has always been a headache for the Terran Alliance. It is not like Qi and blood, which can be detected by a detector. To evaluate abilities, one can only make a rough evaluation based on the actual effect in the previous cases. When the age of martial arts opened, supernatural powers arose along with it. In history, there have been cases where SSS-level abilities were misjudged as F-level abilities, and there were also cases where C-level abilities were regarded as SSS-level abilities. Song Qingwan's grade A rating is already the most daring rating in Tianyuan City. After all, in the history of this small town, there are only a handful of A-level powerhouses. Fu Yu said that Song Qingwan's ability evaluation may be low. On the other hand, Lin Yan and Cao Cao lowered their heads. The two of them were representatives of the inflated evaluation of contemporary abilities before. When a dream comes true, good luck follows. It was once designated as an SSS-level ability by their school. It's just that as time goes by, the effect is more and more limited. Their ability evaluation also dropped again and again. Cao Cao's ability evaluation now has an A-level evaluation in the data. Lin Yan's ability has become A, and if it continues to fall, it will be B. After Song Qingwan finished speaking, Lin Yan had no choice but to bite the bullet and said, "My supernatural name is Hypnosis. It used to be rated SSS and now it is rated A. But I think my evaluation must be low." To this, Su Yu nodded in approval. Seeing this, Lin Yan was deeply moved. It's rare that there are still people who are willing to believe in themselves. My weapon is a long sword, and my level is very high. At least the teachers in our school are not as skilled as me. Is this also because of your ability? Su Yu asked curiously. Lin Yan didn't even think about it. No. It's simply because of my talent in martial arts. Su Yu was silent. He suddenly felt that the evaluation of this guy's ability was getting lower day by day, which was probably caused by his stubbornness. I can hypnotize ordinary beasts, and I can also hypnotize people with lower strength than me, or people who are weaker than me. I can only hypnotize the seriously injured first-grade beasts. Lin Yan said. Su Yu couldn't figure it out. Why did a good fantasy come true, go astray and become hypnosis? By the way, I can also hypnotize myself so that I can temporarily possess the strength of other people. After the words fell, the eyes of all three people on the scene lit up. Can you also have supernatural powers? Fu Yu asked. No, Lin Yan focused on honesty. And if the strength is too high, I can't hypnotize it. My highest record is to have the strength of a peak warrior of the first rank, and the duration is 30 seconds. Except for Su Yu, the other three all looked regretful. Okay, I'm done. Cao Cao immediately raised her hand. It's my turn. It's my turn. My weapon is a long whip. I'm lucky. It's easy to hit the opponent's life gate or the weakness of the beast. My ability is good luck, and I don't know how to use it. Anyway, if you are with me, your luck will definitely improve. Maybe as soon as we go in, we can meet a strange beast with residual blood. Listen, do people speak? As Cao Cao spoke, the four fell into silence. After everyone introduced themselves, they all turned their attention to Su Yu. My strength and speed are far beyond ordinary people, and my fighting skills, spear skills, and sword skills are all proficient. Su Yu felt that he had finished everything in one sentence. After thinking for a while, he added, "Oh, yes. I also recently learned the martial arts Mi Zong Bu." In the observation room, all the masters and strong men looked at each other speechlessly. This kid, did he really learn the lost step in one night? Cheng Yang was a little skeptical and said, he wouldn't think that if he followed a few steps, it would be a lost step. It's possible, after all, he hasn't seen others demonstrate martial arts. Qian Yun agreed. This explanation was unanimously approved by everyone present. In the square, both Lin Yan and Cao Cao looked at Su Yu enviously. They both believed it. After introducing himself, Su Yu is ready to express his bold ideas. He was the first to look at Fu Yu. Fu Yu, have you ever thought that your ability can adjust the spiritual power of the five of us to the same frequency like controlling electric waves? Do it like we're on the same LAN. If possible, our communication in the wilderness. Su Yu didn't finish speaking, but Fu Yu's eyes lit up. He hasn't tried it, but he thinks he can try it. It would be interesting if it could be done. In the observation room, when everyone heard what Su Yu said, they all became curious. Ba Ting said, if this is true, then this talisman will be a favorite in the battlefield in the future. Adjust the spiritual power of all people to the same frequency. This means that on the battlefield, everyone will be able to truly communicate with each other. One or two may not be so effective. But if it's on a deserted battlefield, everyone, or a legion to achieve the same mind, then the help this ability will bring to the race will exceed everyone's imagination. At that time, Fuyu will be the artifact of the human race on the battlefield. Of course, the current Fuyu can't do it, but what if he is allowed to break through and become a master? There is no shackles for Fuyu of the spiritual system to enter the 7th rank realm. At that time, even if he can't control the entire battlefield, as long as he plays this point on the high-end battlefield, the effect it will bring is unpredictable. Although the spiritual power of the masters is strong enough to communicate with ideas, this is different from the probability proposed by Su Yu. Idea communication. Communication also takes time. In the war between the strong, every second may be the key to changing the entire battle situation. In the observation room, everyone looked at Fuyu on the square and said to give it a try. A group of people subconsciously held their breath, staring at Fuyu with his eyes closed. Su Yu looked at Fuyu and closed his eyes to try. He is also looking forward to it in his heart, based on his understanding of the word control. Fuyu can definitely do what he said. It may be limited by the strength of mental strength, or it may require more attempts, which cannot be done for a while. But he is ready to brainwash Fuyu every day. I really think about it. The voices of other people suddenly appeared in Su Yu's mind. Is this really possible? Why does it feel a bit silly? If it's possible, then I can do it too. At this moment, Su Yu, Song Qingwan, and Cao Cao looked at Lin Yan at the same time. Lin Yan, damn it, it really succeeded. Do you really know what I'm thinking? Su Yu, you guess. Song Qingwan, Su Yu is amazing. As expected of me. Song Qingwan's pretty face instantly turned red. The person I like, probably. Cao Cao and Lin Yan are still communicating. It's so embarrassing. How can I come up with any idea? Song Qingwan's pretty face turned red directly to the ears. Cough cough cough. Su Yu coughed twice. I think we should use this method when fighting. As soon as the voice fell, everyone felt that the wonderful connection between each other disappeared instantly. Well, but I'm not proficient enough. Now it's time for me to regulate everyone's mental power. I basically need to concentrate on controlling it carefully, and I may not be able to use it in battle in a short time. If you use it, maybe you still need someone to protect me. Besides this point, in the same frequency, not everyone's thoughts will be perceived. If you forcibly stop your thoughts, others will not be able to feel them. The expression on Fuyu's face still didn't change much, and he made a summary analysis as soon as he opened his eyes. Everyone nodded. Su Yu smiled and said, "That's okay, we can try more. If it is not dangerous to face the alien beast, we can try more. Maybe with a few more tries, you can control while fighting. As for suppressing myself and not wanting to tell the other party what I think, I have experience in this area." Su Yu looked at Song Qingwan intentionally. Song Qingwan wanted to bury her head, but she had to listen carefully. When you are in that state, you can also actively try to mobilize your mental power. Try to create a private realm in the frequency, so that not all thoughts are perceived by other people. Su Yu seriously shared his experience just now. However, after he finished speaking, Song Qingwan, Lin Yan, and Cao Cao were all stunned. Is this difficult to understand? Su Yu asked, puzzled. The three nodded at the same time. On the side, Fuyu said, "If you want to do this, you need to have a mental power of at least 200 Hz, if you haven't practiced mental power before. It's basically impossible until we step into warriors. I have practiced mental power skills since I was a child, and I have only achieved 210. There has been no progress at all in the past 2 years." If everyone didn't feel the excitement from Fuyu's tone just now, then at this moment, everyone felt the complicated emotions under his cold expression. Su Yu was dumbfounded. Am I so mentally strong? He was a little uncertain. Fuyu nodded. Observe indoors. Everyone turned their heads to look at each other stiffly. Really, aren't these little brats joking? Also, Cheng Yang, do you know that Su Yu has such a strong mental power? Has he really never cultivated spiritual power? There are countless questions in the hearts of several masters who want to be answered at this moment. At the same time, the eyes they looked at Suyu and Fuyu became more intense. Especially the three people other than the University of Rejection. Although Suyu's and Fuyu's intentional universities are both rejecting North University. But now that they have found two pieces of precious jade, it is impossible to let them go easily. Zhuge Yun's emotions were a little complicated. Qian Yun has also begun to regret it. If Zhuge Yun had not agreed to invite these people to the joint training camp of the four schools, today there would be no risk of someone being snatched away. Well, Suyu, you have the talent to make this discovery, can't you hide it for a while? On the square, Suyu looked at Lin Yan again. Have you ever hypnotized yourself as not human? After the words fell, Lin Yan was instantly confused. Brother Suyu, although my ability is very special, I'm not a pervert. He took a few steps back and immediately distanced himself from Suyu. Suyu was dumbfounded. After a few seconds of silence, he explained, I mean, have you ever tried to hypnotize yourself as a strange beast, or flowers and trees? If you can do it, then in the wilderness, you are a natural scout. But I can't really turn into a strange beast or a tree. Lin Yan still resisted. Suyu covered his forehead helplessly. Who said it made you a strange beast? Breath. Do you understand breath? Feeling, that's the feeling, you know. Lin Yan nodded. I will try. Next moment, the entire square looked at the target in an instant. Is it that easy? Suyu was a little surprised. Wei Yiken suddenly came in front of everyone. Just now you exuded the breath of the third-grade wind wolf. Lin Yan nodded dully. Wei Yiken sized him up. Don't imitate the breath of a strange beast casually in the square, it will cause riots. After that, he walked away again. FK, I can really do it. I feel like I can imitate the breath of a mid-grade alien beast. Lin Yan suddenly became excited. Hearing this, Suyu quickly stopped. Calm down. Don't. You have a lot of opportunities in the wilderness. Observe indoors. Deng Ji and the others suddenly felt that this Lin Yan could also be snatched up. Before becoming a martial artist, he could imitate the breath of a third-rank alien beast. And also deceive the master and the strong. What kind of hypnosis ability is this? This is obviously the most powerful disguise ability that everyone has seen so far. If Lin Yan is a little stronger, can he imitate the breath of the strongest? Another ability that can directly help the entire human race. In terms of the value of this ability, the rating SSS is not too much. In the observation room, everyone was a little messy. After all, at this moment, there are two abilities that can be rated as SSS level in actual value. Brother Zhuge, is it possible that Suyu's talent is not tactics, but the talent of tapping other people? Just for a while, Fuyu and Lin Yan felt reborn in his hands. Qian Yun couldn't help asking. In his eyes, the new effects of these two people's abilities are certainly shocking. But what surprised him the most was Suyu. After all of this is led by Suyu. Zhuge Yun glanced at him lightly. Brother Yun, you are wrong, this is also part of tactical talent. Let everyone's strongest strength be brought out to the fullest. This is what our tacticians should do. Really? Cheng Yong looked suspicious. Zhuge Yun's face was not blushing and his heart was not beating. Of course, Suyu's talent in this aspect is indeed somewhat beyond ordinary people. Everyone was shocked and continued to observe expectantly. Both Fuyu and Lin Yan were discovered by Suyu. What about Cao Cao? What about me? What can I do? Cao Cao blinked her big eyes and looked at Suyu expectantly. Suyu stroked his chin and thought about it for a long time. Under the eyes of everyone's expectation, he said, Cao Cao, you are the goddess of luck of our team. You don't have to do anything, as long as you are with us, you are the strongest buff. Hearing this, Cao Cao was both disappointed and happy. Suyu thought for a while, and then added, well, from now on, you will tell yourself firmly in your mind all the time that you are the goddess of luck for all of us. As long as you are here, all of us will be blessed with luck. Cao Cao thought about it carefully. I seem to have always thought this way. Suyu said silently, then your thinking is correct, believe in yourself. After dealing with Cao Cao, Suyu faced Song Qingwan's expectant eyes again. Your ability is not freezing, your ability can freeze everything in the world. One day, with a wave of your hand, one planet, one galaxy, or even the entire universe can enter an ice age. Undoubtedly, Su Yu looked like a master, and no one, including Song Qingwan, believed what he said. Of course Su Yu boasted so much. Song Qingwan happily narrowed her eyes into a crescent shape. In the observation room, Feng Wan suddenly smiled and said, "We're expecting too much. We wish he could let everyone discover the new world." Fu Yu and Lin Yan, these two children are already a surprise among surprises. After the voice fell, the other few who felt that their expectations were a little bit in vain also nodded. Ba Ting looked at the time and said, "In contrast, I would like to see the actual strength of Su Yu." Dang Ji. Well, I'm curious what ranking he will get with this crane tail team. Top 15. If Fu Yu and Lin Yan can get to know Su Yu earlier, it's not impossible to top 10. Ba Ting said. In the square, the time to enter the little wilderness is approaching. All teams have started intense pre-war preparations. Su Yu. Let's talk about it first. If there are not many or strong beasts, we will create more opportunities for Fu Yu to exercise his abilities. This is a points competition. Wouldn't it be good to spend time on me proficient in my abilities? Fu Yu hesitated. Su Yu smiled. So you have to strive to master this ability usage method as soon as possible. As long as you can master it, I believe that the time we spend on you will be multiplied back. Besides, you are not allowed to try all the time. We also look at the opportunity. Fu Yu nodded in agreement, and Su Yu turned his attention to Lin Yan. Lin Yan, you are mainly responsible for scouting and making bait. If you find traces of a strange beast, I will be responsible for analyzing what kind of strange beast it is. You are in charge of simulating the breath of the same kind of beast, so you can spy at close range. If the target alien beast is in an environment that is not conducive to us, you can try to simulate the main predator of the alien beast. We will set up an ambush and you will be responsible for luring them out. I can only imitate the strange beasts I have seen. Lin Yan raised her hand. Su Yu smiled. It's okay, I don't like alien beasts and alien beasts. If you simulate a similar level to invade their domain, they will naturally come to you. One more thing, are you sure you can simulate the breath of a mid-grade alien beast? Yes, Lin Yan said firmly. Su Yu nodded and didn't discuss the matter too much, but just had a general idea in his mind. There's me. What's my mission? Chow Chow raised her hands again, swinging her ponytails into a swing. You are the strongest team buff. With you here, I can guarantee that we will at least achieve a good result in the top 10. Su Yu's expression and tone were too sincere. So sincere that Chow Chow completely believed in this statement. Then I will definitely be within 10 meters of you. Su Yu nodded in satisfaction, and immediately looked at Sister Qing Huan. Qing Huan, both of us are the main combat power, so be prepared to be very tired for the next 6 days. Song Qingwan looked resolute. Su Yu, don't worry, I won't hold you back. Soon, an hour of preparation time passed. Wei Yiken returned to the square again. He glanced at everyone. It seems that everyone is ready, then follow me. He led the way, and the party followed him across the square. Entering the military training base next to the square, there are still people patrolling the base. Continue to move forward and come to the depths of the base. A lying brass gate appeared in front of everyone. Through this door, you will enter the small wilderness. It doesn't matter whether you live or die inside. Unless someone breaks the rules of the training camp will never make a move. I'll ask for your opinion one last time. Are you sure you want to go down? Sure. None of the 105 people hesitated. Wei Yiken nodded, and took a few steps to the sky above the brass door. He took out a silver-white key, lightly grasped it with both hands, and the silver-white key turned into powder and fell on the brass gate. The powder met the brass gate and cast a dim light. When the light became more and more intense, the door gradually opened. Wei Yiken looked at the crowd, with a smile on the corner of his mouth. 10 seconds, if you don't have time to go down, you can go home. The voice fell. Swish swish swish. One by one, they scrambled to be the first to rush to the brass gate and jump down. As for what will happen after the jump, everyone has no time to think about it. A group of people obviously jumped down. But the moment they passed through the bronze gate, they stepped firmly on the ground again and walked out of the gate normally. This wonderful feeling made everyone look back at the bronze gate. Then look forward. The gray sky, towering trees block the view. In front of everyone, there are paths leading to the depths of the forest, with no end in sight. Obviously, the choice of route is the first hurdle that everyone needs to face. For a moment, everyone at the scene fell silent. Everyone who knew nothing about the road ahead was making serious judgments in their hearts at this moment. Interestingly, many people at the scene looked at Su Yu. They seemed to want to see the judgment of tactical geniuses on route selection. Song Qingwan, Cao Cao and the others also subconsciously looked at Su Yu. Su Yu first looked at Fu Yu. Fu Yu said indifferently, "The specific situation of the training camp is different every year. Choose the route as soon as you come in, I don't seem to have heard of it before." Su Yu nodded, and under the gaze of a group of people, he looked at Cao Cao. "Cao Cao, you can choose any one." When the voice fell, everyone was shocked. "Play, what about the professionalism of the tactician? Shouldn't you be probing before deciding which way to go?" Cao Cao didn't react a little. "Huh. Let me choose." "Yes, whichever path you think you like, whichever path is suitable for us, we will take whichever one. You are the goddess of luck of our team. If you don't play your role at this time, when will you play it?" Su Yu said. Hearing this, Cao Cao's eyes widened, and there was a trace of excitement in her beautiful eyes. Under the gaze of many people, she looked at the roots in front of her and stretched out her white and slender fingers. Who did the little cock order? At this moment, countless questioning eyes gathered on Su Yu again. Su Yu rubbed his nose and comforted the other three in the team. "It's okay, Cao Cao's ability is due to luck, we just listen to him." Song Qingwan nodded seriously, while Fu Yu's expression was flat. Lin Yanzheng held his head up and chest out, trying to show off his good looks. Su Yu was silent. Su Yu's team chose Xuanzu. The other teams at the scene stopped paying attention to them. They all displayed the knowledge they had learned on weekdays. Some came back after exploring the way forward, and some analyzed the soil and these numbers. This scene looks like a group of scientific expeditions working. "Okay, this is the one," Cao Chaofu said, pointing to the rightmost road. His eyes lit up. "Let's go." Su Yu immediately led everyone into the forest. Saw Su Yu's team set off first. Gao Shi, Hao Zhiming, Wu Linlin, and Su Yincheng also led the team into the wilderness. Everyone chose different routes tacitly. Everyone walked forward. The deeper they went, the towering trees densely packed like a city wall gradually thinned out. Along the way, Cao Cao played the game of ordering cocks several times. The choice of Su Yu's team's route is based on belief. Believe in metaphysics, believe in Cao Cao's abilities. In the observation room, Ba Ting looked at the few teams that were still hesitating at the starting point, and snorted coldly. "Think about it 1,000 times, if you don't take the first step, you will only be left behind by others." Everyone nodded in approval. On the other side of the data group, comments of hesitation were also written at the back of the materials of these geniuses. After the training camp is over. These comments also form part of their talent rating for admission to the Big Four. At the same time, those masters who want to accept apprentices will also make judgments based on this information. "Oh, are Su Yu and the others going to meet a strange beast?" Deng Ji asked suddenly, looking at the picture of Su Yu's team. Hearing this, several other people immediately switched the screen to Su Yu's team. In the picture, Su Yu's team, which was going all the way, finally stopped. Su Yu gestured for everyone to stop in place. He jumped onto a big tree and began to investigate. Everyone looked at him, sometimes gesturing, sometimes sticking their fingers to the tree trunk to smell the smell, all with anticipation in their eyes. After walking all the way, they hadn't seen a strange beast yet, so they couldn't bear it anymore. After observing several tree trunks, Su Yu found some feces residues in the grass. Finally, he made a conclusion: black-tailed killer bee. The other four immediately surrounded them. According to the traces on these tree trunks, there are at least 2 killer bees above rank 1. Lin Yan listened to what Su Yu said, and he ran to those big trees to take a look. Except for a few small dots, nothing can be seen. "Tisk, why don't you say that there is a specialization in the art field? I also took the tactics class, but I really can't see it. All I know is that the excrement must be the excrement of a foreign animal, and it's still fresh," he said. Hearing this, everyone laughed. Su Yu looked into the depths. It should be not far away, and the first hunt of our training camp is finally coming. Several people showed a little excited look on their faces. Chow Chow stopped leading the way, and everyone followed Suyu, probing all the way forward. Here we are, if we go any further, we will break into their territory. Suyu beckoned everyone to stop again. After everyone stopped, Suyu looked at Lin Yan. Can the breath of ordinary killer bees be imitated? Lin Yan nodded. A small problem. Then you imitate the breath of the killer bee and go around in a circle, and use the bracelet to contact in special cases. Come back immediately after the investigation is clear. After saying that, Suyu said with a serious expression, no matter how many strange beasts there are, you can't do it without permission. Okay, Lin Yan agreed. In an instant, everyone looked at him no longer as a person. He clearly has a human form in front of him, and he also knows that this is his supernatural power. But everyone subconsciously thinks that Lin Yan in front of them is a killer bee. Watching Lin Yan, flapping her wings, going deep. Song Qingwan said with emotion, from this point of view, Lin Yan's ability is really amazing. Everyone nodded. Suyu also smiled. The fantasy of the SS level has come true. How amazing this ability can be, I guess no one can imagine it. In the observation room, several directors of the admissions office have changed Lin Yan's ability to S level. His ceiling is not yet known. But judging from the current performance, it is not too much to give an S grade. Of course, while evaluating Lin Yan's ability, what everyone is looking forward to more is what kind of strength Suyu will show. In the wilderness, Lin Yan returned from investigation. Seeing the excited look on his face, everyone knew that the battle was over. Third rank injured bee, the one with a hive. Lin Yan went straight to the point. After the words fell, the other four cheered up. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.